Celtics improve to 14-4. They are the best team in the NBA. They look very good tonight.
I think it's time for us to start talking about Jayson Tatum as a leading candidate for league MVP honors. He's averaging 30 on better than 45% shooting. He is putting on a show on a night in, night out basis. Jaylen Brown is no joke either, but Jayson Tatum is clearly the star of this basketball team. They are clearly the best team in the Eastern Conference right now. And when you consider what they're doing offensively and the fact they're scheduled to improve defensively once Robert Williams III comes back in a few weeks, this is the reigning defending Eastern Conference champions, and they're showing you why that is. In the case of the Dallas Mavericks, I mean, damn. All I can say is this: Luka is sensational. He's an MVP candidate, but it would be nice if other members of the Dallas Mavericks play on a night in, night out basis and remember that they get a paycheck too. Christian Wood showed up tonight. I don't know what the problem is with Tim Hardaway Jr. shooting 31% from both the field and three-point range. Spencer Dinwiddie, obviously, he needs help. Luka Doncic needs help.
Luka had 42. Jalen, we talked in the pregame about how the West is so jumbled up right now. The distance from first place to 10th place is literally 2 games. Where are the Mavericks in the pecking order of the West in your mind with the great Luka Doncic?
I think they can legitimately win a round in the playoffs, but when you're as dominant as Luka is, it becomes the gift and the curse because the Celtics allowed him to play one-on-one, and it was dazzling to watch him put on the show. But to Stephen A's point, that also stopped other players from having the opportunity to be aggressive and get off other than Christian Wood. But Luka, for me, Greeny, the pace that he plays with and the size that he has and the ability to go against no matter what position is defending him, it reminds me of a modern-day Larry Bird. It seems like he's not really fast, he's not really jumping high, but yet he's so very dynamic with his back to the basket, shooting fallaways, floaters, runners. He's the most unstoppable perimeter scorer in the game. And for the Boston Celtics, they're the best team in basketball. The intellect, the passing, they have no weak links defensively. They have no weak links offensively. Each of those guys can shoot the three. They have the best dynamic duo in the game in Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Counting it down to the Celtics and the Mavericks tonight as we come to you from the Seaport. Tonight brought to you by Patron. Perfection starts with Patron. This is the part of the Seaport that we call Woj's Corner. And here's the man himself. So, Woj, the Celtics right now are the best team in the NBA, and they are about to get better. What is the latest on the return of their big man?
Greeny, Robert Williams, who had surgery on his left knee 2 months ago today, his agent, Kevin Bradbury, told me tonight that he expects Robert Williams will be back by Christmas. That gives him another month here. He's progressing well on his rehab. And listen, this is a player who had 2 surgeries in the last calendar year. They certainly want to take their time. Even without him, this is a team with the best record in the NBA, but they expect him to be back by Christmas. And I think for Boston now, as you start to look out toward the February trade deadline, I think another big man, another center who could play minutes in the case of Robert Williams missing time or 36-year-old Al Horford being out. They're trying to close every hole they can to be a championship team. So I think you watch Boston as they get closer to the trade deadline, seeing if there's some more front court help off their bench that they could acquire. But Robert Williams, and there's a Boston defense that's 16th in the league right now. You know what he does for them defensively. They were the very best in the league with him anchoring it last year. That'll certainly improve when he returns again, likely prior to Christmas.
Oh, we all saw what a big part of that defense he was last year deep into the playoffs. Woj, excellent.
Hey, what's up, guys? Jag from Jaggy Sports here. It's about that time. We're going to talk about Jayson Tatum and the Boston Celtics. They are 14-4, number 1 in the Eastern Conference, and they are 9-1 in their last 10 games. This is without Robert Williams. As you just saw, he is going to be back, and that is a significant boost in the post. And I honestly don't know who can beat these guys. 14-4. Tomorrow night they play Sacramento Kings, the red hot Sacramento Kings, even though they lost last night, but still, right? Sacramento's legit. They need to improve on their defense a little bit, but still, these guys can get it done. Regardless, Boston Celtics are amazing. I can't begin to tell you how good Jayson Tatum is. He is averaging 31 points per game. So the question is, I know everybody's talking about Luka, right? Luka for MVP, what he and the Dallas Mavericks are doing is phenomenal, but what Jayson Tatum and the Celtics are doing is pretty phenomenal too. They're number one in the East. Dallas is not. Dallas doesn't really have any other superstar or star player besides obviously Luka. So you got to take that into consideration too. But Jayson Tatum's just like, this kid is just getting it done. Both ends of the floor. It's pretty phenomenal what this guy can do. 31 points per game. So, which leads me to the question. If it was down to Luka and Jayson Tatum, who would you choose for MVP, right? I know there's other considerations and whatnot, right? So you have Zion, if he goes on a tear, Ja Morant, Joel Embiid, Joker, Giannis. I'm probably missing a couple here and there. SGA, he's put on a clinic for OKC. So I know I'm not including those, right? But what I am saying to you, if it was down to Jayson Tatum and Luka, who would you choose? Luka's unreal, but so is Jayson Tatum. So now it depends on the teams, right? So Dallas Mavericks, they're not going to do so well compared to Boston Celtics, even though they're doing fairly well right now. But when you compare them both, Boston Celtics are an elite team in the first in the Eastern Conference. There is no slowing down. Second place is the Bucks. They're 12 wins, and obviously Boston Celtics have 14. So who would you choose, right? Jayson Tatum sitting on top of the East. I know Dallas is not doing that. I know Luka is not sitting on top of the West. So you gotta take that into consideration too. But I don't know. That's a tough one. That is 100% tough one. So I'll leave you guys to put a comment in the comment section. Who do you think will be the MVP? Is it Jayson Tatum or is it Luka? I don't know. I'm just looking at Boston and I'm shaking my head because there's no team that I see as of right now that can beat these guys. So again, Jayson Tatum for MVP or Luka for MVP if it was down to only those two players, right? I'm not saying that they're the only ones. I'm just saying if it was down to two players, Luka or Jayson Tatum. Leave a comment in the comment section. This is Jag from Jaggy Sports.